This is Mike. Liz, I'm introducing this a little bit, but this is an obliteration webinar, so we'll get to that in just 1 second. Let's start with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. All right, Liz. Obliteration. What you've been I pulled that word. You've been working hard on your OMG Live Nashville speech. Obviously, we just got back. You were in Miami all last week, working super hard, working up, staying up until all hours of the morning, working on OMG and important OMG stuff for 2016, and so that's really exciting. You also just got back from Las Vegas, so we're so glad to have you here. We've got about 1 hour today. Let's make it count. How you doing, Liz?
I'm doing awesome. I was just recovering from China, but obliteration, I'm pumped about that.
Oh my goodness. Well, you have, you really, for those of you who don't exactly know the backstory, Liz has, Hurricane Liz has kind of turned OMG on its head in 2015. Ever since she joined us, she's been doing this unbelievably, she's such an unbelievably caring person. Anybody who's gotten to know her knows that billion-dollar smile of hers, and just gets lit up, and all the incredible information. Liz has just crisscrossed the globe. Liz, let's try to run this down. Four visits to China this year in 2015?
Yeah, 4 visits.
4 visits. Do you have any sense for how many visits to Vegas? Is it 6? Probably.
Wow, I can't even keep track of how many to Vegas. It's been quite a few. I would imagine it is around 6 or 7.
Yep, and then at least I think 3 or 4 trips to Miami, a couple to Orlando, Scottsdale, Chicago, Los Angeles at least once, maybe twice. I think twice on LA.
I think it's actually 3 times on LA.
Okay. So what's the deal? Why are you such a jet setter? You love networking, and you love getting data, specialized information from all over the globe, and you bring it back for OMG.
Yeah, like I said in Vegas, that's the #1 tip that I give to all the newbies out there, and especially like coming up with OMG Live. There's going to be, I know you've taken quite a bit of time to plan out all these social events, and a lot of people don't actually. I mean, I'm not sure. I think at OMG Live it's a little bit different from what I've heard. Quite a bit of people show up, but still, it would be really exciting to get 100% actual participation, because that's where the magic happens.
The magic. All right. Well, now you have a different take on networking, because a lot of times, and this is, networking isn't the only thing we're going to talk about today. Our real focus today is going to be on YouTube, and then tomorrow we have a little bit of a doubleheader with Liz, because tomorrow we have an Amazon Q&A. I'll even probably put a link below the video here to get signed up for that, and that's going to be at the same time, 4 p.m. Eastern. Today we're a little bit more focused on YouTube. Part of that is because John Pemberthy's incredible Tube Traffic Mastery is wrapping up tonight at midnight Pacific. You see the countdown clock above. It's wrapping up for 2015, and John's getting in on the coaching sessions and so forth. So folks are going to want to get involved in that. But speaking of YouTube, Liz, you don't just network. You kind of do this kind of power networking. So the normal idea of networking is that you just kind of go and you schmooze and say just the right things, and then people just like you so much because you schmooze them so well. But that's not exactly the kind of networking you do. You do what I would call kind of power networking, where you have a lot of leverage walking in the door. You don't like walking in empty-handed.
Right, absolutely. I think like networking in general, most people, I don't think they kind of completely understand it, especially when you first start. You really have to sort of get out there several times and see the same person several times. Like, I think in the case of Smigdal, I had to see her 3 times before we actually became really good friends. And a lot of times that means going to these events and sitting through stuff that doesn't necessarily help your business, but just getting out there and actually going to meetups and or just hanging out really at the bar. I think when it really hit me, like how I should be networking, was when I heard Richard Branson speak, and someone asked him what one tip he gave, anyone in the audience. And one of the thing that he said, this is all he said, is I encourage them to party more often. And the reason he said that was because he said that's where all the magic happens. That's where all the deals happen. That's where all the information gets shared and all that. So number one, be prepared to go out, even if it means like you get a little bit less sleep than usual. It might be a rough weekend, but you know, you have all week long to recover. And then second thing is share some information. Just don't feel like you have to hoard all this information. There's so many things out there that you can learn. You have to sort of have leverage, especially when you first get started.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you walk into any sort of a networking situation, and of course, the leverage we're talking about here is going to be YouTube. And it's just an interesting aspect on things. Now, the great news for OMGers is Liz has done this just unbelievable power networking for you. I mean, it's you know, she's the Tasmanian devil. She dons her ninja suit and she gets out there. She chases down all the unicorns and makes sure that we have like all kinds of you know, crazy stuff going on. And really, you got to almost wonder, how is it that Liz gets all these people just almost with their panties on fire to just give us all this great information and just participate? And you look inside of OMG and we just have this embarrassment of success and triumph and everything like that, but also people really, really generously giving back, from Mike Bittler and Jack Harvell and of course John Gill and Susan and Ty and Mandy and just so many others that have just been incredible. I'm not trying to leave anybody out, not even one bit. But you have this way of really getting people, you know, roped up. So that's great news. All OMGers really are going to get to benefit that, because Liz has been essentially volunteering for us in 2015. Just out of the goodness of her heart, all these trips, all this stuff she's done out of her own wallet. Now in 2016, we're so lucky because Liz is officially joining our team. She'll be partnering with us on OMG. She'll be an official player coach. So that the first exciting appearance will be at OMG Live Nashville. I've seen her slide deck. It's electrifying. But we're giving you a little bit of a sneak preview for what her presentation is going to be about. And also looking forward into 2016. And Liz, when you talk about leverage to do these deals, and again, it's a little bit holographic because, of course, you know, whatever you're learning about YouTube, it's not just for networking, of course. You'd be using it for your Amazon business, for your affiliate marketing, and for your SEO client consulting. But that is why it's so exciting, Liz. You love trading with trading in YouTube secrets.
Absolutely. And, you know, even going back to that, the very first thing that I try to do just to kind of become friends with people is something as simple as remembering their names. And now sometimes on a scale where you meet hundreds and hundreds of people a day, that's kind of impossible. But like, for example, when I was at the Chinese mastermind, one of the things that two people pointed out, in fact, they even like raised their hand and they pointed out and they said, I just wanted to say how impressed I am with the fact that 10 minutes into the mastermind, you know every single one of our names. And that was like super important to them. It made them feel special. So a lot of times it's just about giving people enough time and making them feel like they're special. Because I mean, I believe that every single person out there is special and has something special to share. So it kind of all starts with that. But going back to what you asked, in terms of like YouTube, that's kind of where I started, and not necessarily started, but the one thing that I got when I got back into internet marketing after playing poker, that's the one area where I focused on. And with YouTube, the reason that I sort of love to share YouTube secrets is because there's just so many different ways people can take their businesses using YouTube. And so at OMG Live, what I'm actually planning to do is show all the different ways that I've actually used YouTube to make money, and actually show like real funnels and show the types of videos that I've actually used to show people that things don't have to be perfect.
Yeah, they really don't have to be perfect. And it's one of the, let's help people understand the power of YouTube, because that's almost the best thing that we can do. You've done a great job of explaining in the past, but in case somebody needs a refresher, what was it that first drew you to YouTube? What stats and what information did you find out that really just made you realize that there was just a huge untapped, not even just gold mine, but just, you know, city of gold out there for you?
Well, it kind of like reminded me a lot of SEO, because I did used to do SEO back in the day. It wasn't really that great of SEO. I was pretty bad, but I still did something. But one of the things that drew me to YouTube is the fact that I could put a video up there for free pretty much, and then it could get traffic, and in turn that traffic could turn into like leads and or sales or opt-ins. And so it was really attractive to me, the fact that all it required was time to create a video and then time to learn how to properly load the video up and optimize it. And once that happened and you start getting hundreds of videos out there at once, you can really grow this tremendously large channel with a lot of followers and sort of like an email list. And so that's kind of what initially attracted me to YouTube. Recently, though, one of the most interesting facts that I've learned about YouTube since I've been going to a lot of seminars and things is, I forget who said this, but they said that 40 Super Bowls happen daily on YouTube, meaning that all the traffic that the Super Bowl gets, like let's say 40 million views, 40 of those are happening daily on YouTube. So if you think about that, Super Bowl ad spots cost, I don't know how many millions of dollars, but you can put a video up there for free. And then if you want, you can run some ads to it for pennies on the dollar. So if you think about that, that's a tremendously large audience that is interested in videos that you have and you can create.
You know, did you say that number right? There's 40 Super Bowls per month on YouTube?
No, per day.
Wow, per week. 40 per week. That's just a shocking number. I mean,
yeah, it's per day.
No, I mean, but in all seriousness, I think just stopping and realizing, Liz, the reach that you can get, and not just with SEO. One of the things looking forward into 2016 for OMG is we just really have more of a focus on really search engine marketing monetization. It's what we've always really been about, but we're kind of even more clearly defining who we are, because once you are monetizing search engine marketing mastery, and once you're in that realm, it's just so exciting. And that when we say search engine marketing, of course that includes SEO, but it can also include paid traffic. But almost when we say paid with YouTube, it's almost ridiculous. You can get such incredible performance out of it. You helped me spend several $100s about 2 months ago, and I made tens of thousands. Just in the span of just a few days with YouTube pay-per-clicks. I got around 80,000 views to a couple of videos that were really hot, and it was just the timing was right, and I just made a ton of money off of it. You're a huge advocate because with OMG, with Joe, of course, has had a huge focus on people understanding SEO. But you think that in addition to that SEO, of course, you totally cheerlead that on and believe in it top to bottom. But you also believe that a ton of money is getting left on the table when it comes to YouTube pay-per-click.
Yeah, absolutely. I think interesting article about a year ago. I think it was 80% of YouTube traffic goes unsold. So there's a ridiculous amount of traffic out there available for purchase for pennies on the dollar, and people just don't take advantage of it.
And what can it, Liz, what can it look like? Like how does this all work? Like what does it look like when you're running a YouTube pay-per-click campaign? Like, because, and just to give people a sense, one of the things that makes OMG so extraordinary is we have these caring player coaches, and to them, these internet moves are like hard physical things that they can see right in front of them, like an iPhone or like a pen and paper notebook or something like that, where obviously with a pen and paper notebook, you fully understand how it works. It's not, I don't have to sit here and explain to you like how it's bound and how it all comes together, stuff like that. Physically, you have like a mental map of what it looks like already. So if I say a notebook or legal pad or something like that, then boom, right away, you're already going to know what I mean. But to you, Liz, just like, for Greg Morrison, anything having to do with anchor text and PBNs and all that stuff, it's almost physical in his brain, in the same way that for Cotton, of course, SEO, but all the moves, all the, that velvet ropes for SEO client consulting that he does, that's all physical in his mind. Just like a lot of people don't know this about Liz, but she was quite a good basketball player when she was in college. So obviously when you're playing basketball, the plays and so forth were almost like physically, in your head. In the same way, Amazon, of course, is physically in your head, and how it all works, sourcing and promotion and all that kind of stuff. YouTube pay-per-click is something that's really ingrained in your head. Can you help describe what it is that you see when you think of YouTube pay-per-clicks?
Yeah, the two big things that I take from pay-per-click on YouTube is that you can really target your audience. It's not as targetable. I think I just made that word up. You can't target as well as Facebook, but you can certainly target pretty well based on topics, based on interest. You can place videos on your competitors' videos themselves.
Right.
And then most importantly, the other thing is that you can remarket. So let's say, for example, you have captured a bunch of views on a particular video. What you can do is take that list of people that have viewed the video and have actually shown interest in it, and you can target just those people by themselves. But in addition to that, they also allow you to remarket to similar audiences like that audience. So say you get like 1,000 clicks that actually watch the video. Now YouTube's going to go and find you a list of similar targets to that actual list. So let's say you wind up with like 1,000 people that saw the video. You could wind up with an additional 55,000. I'm just saying that number. It's somewhere around that 55,000 or so additional people that are sort of like a similar audience. So it's very similar to Facebook, similar audiences. So you can do a lot of neat things on YouTube that people normally just don't take the time to. I know that I've seen a couple people's video ads and they don't actually realize that stuff is even on there.
And Liz, what are you paying on average when you're doing YouTube pay-per-click? What are you paying on average for your views?
In some cases, as little as 1 cent per view. I've paid as high as about 5 cents, but usually I let the campaign run and then start to lower it by a penny, and I'll wind up with about the 2 to 3 cent range. So it's kind of completely ridiculous, where even in niches like, let's say, car insurance, you can still get 6 cents views, right, compared to what they run on actual Google AdWords, which is something like in the $40s or $50 range. So it's kind of really ridiculous how cheap it is. And really, people are scared because they think their video has to be really professional looking or look like a Hollywood film or something like that. But a lot of the best working videos are just videos with actual text and somebody just talking. And really, people pay more attention to the message that you're trying to convey as opposed to the type of video. So it just requires a bit of split testing and just running a bunch of campaigns. And usually, out of every 10 campaigns, you'll get 3 that are really, really good, a couple that are so-so, and then a couple that are just total bombs.
Sure. But then it becomes worth it because each campaign, what is it costing you? Like once you get in the swing of things, to make a video, it costs time basically.
Right, absolutely. And I've seen some campaigns where you spend a couple $100 and then in turn, like I used to run some, and I'll be showing at OMG Live a couple for a local niche where spending a couple $100 yielded a couple leads that were each worth about $5,000.
Right.
So it was something just really cheap for some really solid leads that actually closed a deal on, and they made $5,000 off of each of those leads.
Yeah, you're actually one of the things that you'll be talking about at OMG Live Nashville is because you do clients just like Cotton and Greg and everybody else, Joe Fletch, and you have a client. You actually helped her make $300,000 last year with this video obliteration.
Yeah, and actually that was my absolute last client, and I stopped doing that only because I went now completely into Amazon. And obviously I still like to run YouTube ads, but I stopped doing that. But yeah, the last time that I had worked on it, I'm going to show what I call page 1 obliteration using the example from that client, as well as the actual ads that I ran on there.
No, it's so incredible how we have these player coaches like you that just come in and have this incredible expertise, and then can pull from the real you can pull real whole lessons from your business, just like if you had your own vegetable garden or something like that, and you were a great chef and you had just a really great vegetable garden. You could just walk into your backyard and just pull out a carrot or whatever it is that you need for that recipe. So it's really, really nice that we have that. It's actually, of course, the foundational building block of OMG is that real deal stuff. So now you and I were having a funny talk last night. When you walked up to me this year in February, and you first gave me your just incredible blockbuster report, blockbuster earnings reports, $1 million in December that you made on Amazon. you said that there was something that I brought up to you when we first met in person the very first time, which was in Vegas in, I think it was October of 2014. So just about a year ago now, a little bit more than a year ago now. And what it was you were really successfully using YouTube in one place, but you weren't using it somewhere very important. How did that all work?
Right. So actually, I used to sell an info product on YouTube, and it worked out really well. It got up to as much as like 10,000 per month with just 80 videos that I loaded over a 3-month span. I'll also be showing that channel as well as the email series that I actually used to convert those leads into sales. So I was using it for that, but I've also used it for, like, I used to help one of my friends in the PUA niche. Yeah. So I'll be talking a little bit about the video style we use there. Also in the food prepper niche, I helped him in that. And this was a friend of mine that had a really successful PUA site, message board, back in the day. And then all of a sudden he was a really good SEO, very talented. And one day he got slapped by Google, and his income literally went from like 20,000 a month to zero. And I've been just harping him, telling him, you need to get it to YouTube. You should do some of your PUA stuff on YouTube. And he didn't listen until finally he was sort of like desperate. And so I helped him with a couple videos, and those videos just took off. And now he does nothing but YouTube, and he makes more money than he did with the PUA site. So he does strictly affiliate marketing stuff with YouTube. And like I said, he's replaced that income that he had before from the message boards, and now he's like really happy with YouTube. He's like one of the biggest fans of YouTube. But the thing that I was not using YouTube for yet was Amazon, and I'm not sure, I just never thought of it. I was using it here for affiliate products. I was using it for info products. I was using it for trying to think local, but I hadn't actually even thought of using it for Amazon physical products. And that's when it finally hit me, and let me give it a shot. I tested several different video types. I tested them out with even a couple friends, a couple of other OMGers, and we finally found some different models that work pretty well.
Well, but by pretty well, were they a little bit of a contribution to your $1 million month then?
It was a significant portion of that. And also a couple of my other friends that are really huge earners told me that once they put that video, and I met them at a mastermind, and then they did their own video, they had a significant upswing in profits, and they were using no other technique other than that. So that was kind of exciting for me. And pretty much, you know, it feels really good when you can kind of help somebody out. They're in a completely different niche, and you help them out create some more income for themselves.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So really this is something, because now at this point, obviously you're just unbelievable at Amazon. And one of the ways that you've done this is really combining the power of YouTube with the power of Amazon. And people can get a sense for this, that you just have such a powerful thing at your disposal when you can just do video.
Right. And, you know, going further than that, a lot of the techniques that I actually use were things that they are regularly taught in OMG. It's like Wirecast, but just paying attention to trends that are happening in Google by listening to what Cotton has to say, listening to what Joe Fletch have to say, and then kind of thinking, how can I use this in Amazon? Because at the end of the day, Amazon is its own search engine, right? And the things that work on Google, it's like Amazon, I like to call Amazon Google's little stepsister, because it's trying to copy exactly what Google is doing to make their search engine better. So a lot of times you can take hints from what's happening on Google and apply those to Amazon and have really ridiculous results. And I've seen the guys that do Amazon best are guys that are actually SEOs.
Yeah. Sorry, a little off feedback there. Somehow I'm getting total reverb. One second here. Okay, great. I'm able to work your controls a little bit there. Okay, so let's look forward to OMG 2016. Liz Herrera style. What does OMG Obliteration look like through your eyes? What are some of the things? I know that you've been working so hard in OMG for the last year, but also a lot of what you've been doing is building up building blocks and techniques and things that you're getting ready to just cut loose for in OMG, No Holds Barred, 2016 Project Assimilation, and also Director's Cut 2. What do we have on deck?
Okay, we've got lots of exciting things on deck. I'm actually going to be going more into how I use YouTube, giving examples, but also showing how I run my ads and things like that. And more specifically, just into Amazon and the changes. Like, things are constantly changing on Amazon. And I know a lot of times we don't get to talk about them in the Q&As, but we're pretty much very well aware. And so I'm going to be showing exactly what I'm doing to make adjustments to that. And then bringing on just some special guests every now and then that are at the top of their game. I mean, there's a lot of people that are in my network of friends that love to share information, and they like to just get out there and talk about Amazon. I mean, they're kind of like Amazon nerds, just like I am. So we're going to be showing a lot of that, and then pretty much getting more into I've noticed a lot of people have had problems with kind of understanding the whole import process. It can be rather tricky, so helping a lot of people with that. And we've got a whole lot of other surprises, Mike, but we can't actually say much about them until 2016.
Oh wow! Look at that. What you're seeing is the $1 billion grin is getting a little bit depressed and almost quivering, because you know that some crazy stuff is going to bust out.
Absolutely. Like I said, can't let the cat out of the bag quite yet.
Okay, that sounds great. So let me ask you this, Liz. If somebody right now is just getting started and just thinking about YouTube, and again, John Pemberthy's Tube Traffic Mastery, there's still a link below this video. If you click on that link and the order buttons are still good, then the deal is on. It closes anytime after midnight Pacific tonight. One of the things that John really focused on, Liz, you were saying, hey, things just don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be. You don't have to get every detail straight and so forth. John gave you a lot of tips on the last Hangout webinar, or last webinar that we did with Joe and with Joe and John. It was really incredible, and we had lots of people on. We had lots of training on that. That's on the replay that's below, and also we gave you a 93-page ebook that John Pemberthy wrote up personally for you to give you a lot of step-by-step and so forth getting started. But Liz, if someone here is just coming in fresh and they want to get a perspective, wow, how can I just start using YouTube to make paychecks? Even if they're just fresh off the boat, wet behind the ears, never made $1 online. What are some initial steps, some things that they are going to want to have at their disposal to get started, and then they're going to be ready to go? Like, if somebody is just just beamed down to Earth from Mars, they were previously kidnapped by aliens, they're starting fresh. Maybe they've got a laptop and a couple $100 in their pocket. What would you say to start making money? The instant career change.
Okay, well, first of all, what they have to understand is that there should be nothing that's perfect about YouTube. You've got to sort of just figure out like what you're going to promote is number one. So once you kind of have that figured out, and I'm pretty sure John has some genius ideas in there, because he really puts out quality things. I remember when I first started even thinking about coming out and doing some YouTube videos, I saw a couple things that he had going, and I believe at one point, if I'm not mistaken, he was the leading affiliate for Bring the Fresh. And I remember watching his videos, and I was like, wow, like, I can do this. There's nothing special about what he does. He does like a lot of talking head videos where he's sitting in a chair and he talks about whatever it is he's talking about. And so by watching his stuff, I realized I couldn't believe like that the guy was making that much money just off of his YouTube videos. And I remember that was one of the reasons that I kind of decided to jump into YouTube. It always definitely helps if you have some type of YouTube refresher course. Like I said, John does put out really quality material. But if you're not, and also if you're not able to go to OMG Live, which I'm going to kind of show some of the sample videos that I've done and show you how much they've made me. And some of them, just in some instances, they took me 7 minutes to make a couple videos, and they've made me as much as like $30,000 this year. So if you can imagine, if one video can do that, if you take time to actually put out multiple videos, how much actual money they could actually make you. It's kind of unbelievable, the potential that you can actually achieve with YouTube. And remember, some of these like real YouTube superstars make more money than movie stars. I think like the #1 or #2 YouTube superstars had made more money than one of the top Hollywood celebrities. So it's kind of like unbelievable how much money these guys can make. And a lot of times it's because they relate to other people because they're like real people, you know, with these Hollywood celebs, they look so fake in the magazines, and they're just not real looking. But when you see these YouTube celebrities, they're just like real people, and I think that's part of their appeal. So a lot of people are sort of afraid to get in front of the camera, not realizing that there's very few, like, people are afraid of criticism, but when you really start doing videos, you realize that there's not a lot of, I can't really think of a better word other than like jerks out there that are going to criticize you. And if they do, what you'll see is that you'll have a lot of people that are like your fans, or just nice people in general, will come to your defense. So I think people need to get past that fear and just say, screw it, I'm just going to do this video and I'm going to show myself on camera. You know, a lot of people are just kind of afraid of that. So other than that, depending on the video they're going to do, they could probably just use their smartphone. I know I use my phone for quite a bit of them. Maybe an external mic, but in some cases, the mic that it has is pretty good. So the mic might cost you like $20, like a lavalier style mic. And really that's about it. Unless you're going to do them sitting at a computer, you probably need pretty good lighting. And that's pretty much it. Screencast, if you're going to do screenshot videos of your desktop, you could probably even get away with, if you got Camtasia, Camtasia's fine, but it just really depends on what kind of video you're going to do. For a couple $100, you could be up and running. And then just use Joe's Wirecast method, which if they're already inside of OMG, they should have that. And pretty much just learn some YouTube optimization strategies. Those, like I said, should be readily available in lots of different courses. I'm pretty certain that John Pemberthy covers those in detail in his course. And I can't imagine why he wouldn't. That's one of the main things that I believe was on the sales page. So that's pretty much all you need to get started.
Yeah, terrific. Now, what we'll do here is a little bit. I was thinking in my head as you were talking. I want to give people a sense of what this would look like. So I've got my camera right here. Let's see what I got here. Somebody messaged me. Oh wow. All right. Sorry, I was just getting introduced to somebody who I already know. All right. So, anyways, I turned my my camera on, and what I'm going to do, my phone camera, I just turned it on. And I'm going to rotate the screen. So what you're seeing is, you know, like obviously then what's in the camera view. As I turn it around and hold it this way, then I'm seeing myself, right? I'm sure that makes sense to everybody. So if I turn around like this, then obviously, I don't know how well people can see my camera here, but hopefully pretty well. And this is generally how I've made a lot of my money. Is what I call like selfie videos like this, where I'll hold the video at about arm's length. I'll kind of keep rotating until I get to kind of like the right light conditions. Right about right here, I've got good lighting on me. And then when I'm ready to film, I actually have it on photo. So I'll hold. I learned this, by the way, Liz, from hot girls at nightclubs in Los Angeles in the mid 2000s. The selfie technique. Now it's everywhere. Now the cat's out of the bag. Okay, so I'm going to hold the camera like this, and what I'm going to do, there's a product that I love on ClickBank called The Magic of Making Up. It's by Travis Sago, and it's about how people can rekindle relationships and so forth when they want to get back together with someone. And it can be a great product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a selfie video for Magic of Making Up. I might even have a little bit of fun and post it underneath this here in case it helps give you a little bit of a sense. What you do to do that is you go to the ClickBank marketplace. You can sign up on clickbank.com for free. It's a $2 billion or $2 billion plus marketplace where vendors can post digital products, digital information products like how to get your ex back, or how to beat diabetes, or how to get a six-pack ab, or how to prep for the end of the world, or whatever it is that you want to do. And then what you can do is you can get a promotion link right there on ClickBank. We actually even demonstrated it on the video event with John Pemberthy. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a promotional video for you, kind of show you what that would look like, and that'll give you a bit of a template to work off of. And this is very similar to what Liz would do, very similar to what John Penrith would do, and I've made a lot of money this way. So I'm gonna, Liz, does that sound like a good use of my time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so easy just to make a video. It's not even funny. The one video that I was talking about that made, actually, no, I haven't talked about this one. I loaded another video once. It took me like 5 minutes to film. I just put it up there, and I didn't even run traffic to it. I just let it sit there, and it was a video that I filmed on the fly of me just doing a desktop screen capture of me talking about reviewing a product. And then I threw together a little tiny like bonus that didn't take me that long. And based off that video, I made several $1,000s so far. And it's ranking pretty well because I loaded up using Wirecast. I think it's like number 4 for its term. And so the other tip that I'm going to show at OMG Live is how to get actual more attention than your competitors on there. So me ranking 4, I'm pretty sure I've gotten more sales than anybody on the page because of one particular thing. And I'm going to be showing that at OMG Live.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's made you actually at this point makes you thousands of dollars a month recurring. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna do a demonstration right in front of you here, a little bit of done for you action, and then I'll maybe as a part of the replay and just kind of an enjoyment of things, I'll post it below here. So what I'm gonna do is kind of create a review video for the magic of making up. Now, what I could have done is bought the product, gone through it carefully. I actually know it quite well, and I know the product creator quite well. So I already kind of have that background work done for you, and now you can get a sense of how I would do. I'll kind of go in state here and make a video and actually post it, and we'll stick it below. Hey, this is Mike, and I want to thank you for watching this video. Chances are, if you're finding this video, I wish we could have met under better circumstances, because chances are, if you're watching this video right now, it's because you or somebody who you really care about is going through probably a really difficult time, because breakups are tough. I mean, they're just, we've all been through them. I think so anyways. I sure have. And it's just tough. If you've been with somebody for a while and they become very special to you, and you know what it's like after a relationship. You can't listen to the radio because every frickin' song reminds you of the person that you're missing. And when it gets to be late at night, next thing you know, you're drunk dialing and doing text message terrorism. And I'm not making light of it, but I think we've all been there. And if you're watching this video right now, you might be right in the middle of that. And we watch it on TV or movies and stuff like that. And when it's somebody else, that's one thing. But when it's you, when it's your heart that's really on the line, it can just be such a difficult time. You can't sleep, you can't eat, work suffers. You really need to get help. And I was looking around. I'm not going to get into why. Maybe I went through something myself. But I was looking around and I was trying to get a sense for if there really is something out there that's exceptional when it comes to this whole makeup breakup situation. And I looked in all the places that you'd expect. I mean, what does Oprah say, or what does Dr. Phil say, or stuff like that. And I actually found a source that's a little bit unusual. It's not from some PhD scientist or from some Harvard professor or anything like that. It's actually from the backwoods, at middle of nowhere of Arkansas, of all places, if you can believe that. And there's a guy there, and his name is T.W. Jackson, and he's not a scientist. He's not some Harvard professor or something like that. He's never been on Oprah, but what he is he's a guy who's exceptionally caring, and he's got a track record. And he's got a track record for helping not several, not dozens, but literally hundreds of people where they've gone to help for him, and they have mended relationships and really just changed their lives, put marriages back together, even after very difficult situations, cheating or almost feelings of abandonment, or even just misunderstandings, whatever it is that people have gone through. T-Dub, he has seen and done it all. And I want to talk to you about one of the first things that you should do, kind of the first opening moves out of the T-Dub Jackson Bible of getting back together. And it's right here. It's actually, it's what you want to do is you want to, in an opening move, you want to make a handwritten letter to your loved one. And of course, you want to be very sincere. And what you want to do, this is kind of counterintuitive, but you want to agree with the breakup. You want to say, even if you're not feeling it right now, I understand that. You can even say something like, hey, listen, I've been thinking about what happened. I mean, first of all, sorry about, the drunk dialing and the text messages and stuff like that. I definitely, obviously I care about you. I love you. And it was a little bit of a crazy situation, but the reality is I think we both kind of saw the writing on the wall. And I think that it totally made sense that we took a break and put things on hold and broke things off. And I just want you to know, I think you're such a great person and I love you. And I just hope you find total happiness out there. You absolutely deserve it if anybody in the world ever does. And so I want to thank you for the time that we had together. And I look forward to seeing you be real happy if we ever cross paths again. So that's a kind of letter that you could write to somebody, handwritten, and mail to them. And it's such a different feeling. That's an opening move that I learned from T-Dub Jackson. Very, very, very smart. And T-Dub's got a whole Bible for this. It's called The Magic of Making Up. And again, it's something that he's written that has helped so many people recapture love. And he's got a lot of specified information when it comes to this. He's helped so many different people. Not only does he have a knack for it, but he's got incredible experience with it. So, like I said, I can't guarantee that anything is necessarily going to work 100%. But what I can tell you is that I've included a link below to go over and meet T-Dub and to learn more about his opening moves, learn more about how he can help you. And what I will say is this, regardless of whether you get help from T-Dub or not, get help somewhere, because this is such a critical time. And the decisions that you make right now, one way or another, 6 months from now, it's going to be 6 months later. Are you back together with the person that you love? Are you happy or not? That's a matter of what you do right now. So please, no matter what, make sure to get help. And again, I've included that resource link below. And God bless you. Good luck with everything. Okay, so Liz, what did you get out? Sorry, and weirdly enough, I just completely zoned out and forgot we were even doing a webinar. And I thought when I was doing that video, but and I will include that below. What are your thoughts about what I just shared?
Well, I mean, as everybody saw, it wasn't perfect. I mean, you did a heck of a job, but you pretty much didn't have a script. You improvised every step of the way. You stuttered, just like we're doing now, we stutter here and there. Sometimes we don't know exactly what we're saying because we're collecting our thoughts. So there was really nothing perfect about it. You just talked about the product and what it did, what it included, gave them a bit of a snippet from the actual product itself, and then kind of told, I'm not sure, did you include the call to action at the end there? I can't even remember if you did that.
Yeah, sure did. Yes, I said there was a link in the resource box right below.
All right, that's all you need. So now they've got the call to action and everything. Really, that's all video needs is a call to action and just a review. You basically did a review on the fly. It took you a couple minutes. Now, if you put that up onto YouTube and load it up like OMG style, then the chances that it gets seen are going to be pretty great, especially with, like I said, the one tip that I'm going to show at OMG Live, what kind of completely increases conversions and click-through rates. It's almost like game over. I mean, if you take the time to make one of those a day, it'd be unbelievable where your business will be in 90 days. And I can tell you that from experience, because the channel that I'm going to show there at OMG, I made 84 videos over the span of 3 months, and it became a $10,000 a month business that I actually had to shut down because I just no longer had the time to manage it. So it can be very easy to make money as long as you just commit to doing one thing per day. A lot of us spend so much time and we waste so much time saying like, hey, for example, let me throw out a scenario there. Let's say we get John Pemberthy's course, right? We go through the course and we say, okay, well, we did learn this from John Pemberthy, but then we get into the next shiny object and we say, but I think I need to get Jeff Johnson's course on YouTube. So we feel like we almost have to become a YouTube expert before you even load one video up, and it stops us from even loading that one video up. Like I said, if you just get a course like that, get a course on optimization, anything, use what you know about optimization, something, and load up a video per day. At the end of 90 days, you're going to be making some money. I guarantee it. It's just that easy.
And you actually just met somebody this last week. Again, Liz, just crisscrossing the globe. You met somebody who's getting 5,000 opt-ins per month, and he just made an absolute killing last month. He made just off of free traffic, he made I think it was $400,000 in sales of an affiliate product last month.
Right, that was off of one single product. That didn't even include his own coaching, other affiliate products, other things that he was doing, opt-ins. He had 5,000. Yeah, I met him and I took a look at his channel. Like I said, it was really nothing special. It's just him improvising. Doesn't even look scripted. He's just talking about certain things. He's in a niche that's pretty much like a wide open niche. And what was just impressive is the fact that his schedule is to roll out 4 to 5 new videos a week. That's it. That's all he does. He rolls those out, and with those, he has like a 50,000 person subscriber base. And like I said, where you said it, he turned out a $400,000 paycheck for last month just promoting one product.
Yeah, it's incredible. Now, this kind of thing won't happen all the time, but again, like once you're in the game, anything can happen. So that was most certainly his best payday ever. He'll probably wind up in affiliate commissions, I would guess, probably in about the $150,000, $200,000 range from everything coming together. And of course, that's going to be a huge, huge triumph for him. And for anybody, I mean, that's how much a doctor makes in a whole year. So obviously, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe $250,000 or something like that. It might be what a doctor would make in a whole year. So that sort of a payday is just incredible. And we, Liz, we know so many examples of this. I put together a YouTube channel in 2007. I got probably 5 million views to it and made $1 million product off of it. So I mean, this kind of thing, it can be done. We've seen it done again and again and again and again and again and again. And so much of what needs to happen is people just really embracing this incredible opportunity with YouTube. I mean, you said it yourself. What was it? 4 Super Bowls a day? No, it was 40 Super Bowls per day. 40
Super Bowls per day, right?
Yeah, because they're
pretty incredible.
Yeah, there's just that much traffic, and yet instead of paying $1 million or whatever for a 30-second spot, it's almost like they're paying you. I mean, you're paying a penny for a whole video view. I mean, that's just unbelievable.
Right, absolutely. Like I said, it's available. It's out there for any niche you can imagine. There's even some niches that are on tap. Like you could probably do videos for business-to-business type services, and they're simple to rank. I know SmcDowell did one for a group that was it's more like a networking group. It was called the Denver Business Group. But immediately upon using one of the tactics that I'm going to show at OMG Live, it ranked #1. So it had been hovering around like on page 3 or 4. It was even wirecasted up. I don't exactly know the process they used to wirecast it up, but as soon as she switched on this one technique, it wound up being #1, and it's still sitting there at #1.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many ways to skin a cat. We talked about this in the in the SEMM back of the napkin rundown that I did, where I was talking about the different search engines and Google is. What I said is it's more of a balanced ecosystem, like a watchmaker, and Amazon is more like the kitchen sink, where you just throw everything at it, everything works, and kind of builds on itself. Well, we called YouTube more like the racing search engine, like the car racing search engine, where it's somewhere in between that kind of watchmaker, very careful kind of stuff, and Amazon, where anything goes. With YouTube, as long as you stay within Joe's smart best practice guidelines for safety, from there you really want to drive like hell. You want to drive like crazy. Slam your pedal to the metal, and just the more energy you sink into it. I mean, that's such a power play on Amazon, because there is so little energy out there. On YouTube, there is so little energy on YouTube. There are so few. There's such a huge audience out there, Liz, and yet there's so few people serving that audience. There's just almost never been a bigger opportunity in internet marketing.
Right, I completely agree. Like I said, it's wide open, especially with ads. which we'll be talking about again at OMG Live, you can get them for pennies on the dollar. It's kind of ridiculous how much money you can make right now. It kind of reminds me, back in the day, I used to sell a lot of e-commerce on a website that I created, and at that time, Google PPC was barely at its infancy, and it started to that's when it was about to hit gain popularity. And I remember just with that really bad site, I've showed you that site before. I'll be showing people the site at OMG Live. It's kind of like it even cracks me up. That site went from 0 to 1 million in about 6 to 8 months, just off of Google PPC and eBay. So it's kind of interesting. That's what kind of this YouTube ads kind of reminds me of. It reminds me of the early Google PPC. So much opportunity. Cheap.
You're exactly right. But the crazy thing is, with Google pay-per-clicks, all you needed to get started was a few snippets of text, and you were off to the races. Just that one barrier to entry with YouTube, where you have to create a video, that's what shuts everybody down, and they just crumble, and they just get so afraid and just freak out. And it's one of the reasons why I film that video in front of you right now. You can film your own videos. It's one of the reasons why John Pemberthy, I say the #1 reason to get John Pemberthy's Tube Traffic Mastery, which is right below, is the focus on scripting and structure and so forth. Of course, it covers everything end to end, but that real focus on breaking through with actually getting the video recorded, being able to get your questions answered by John and so forth, is really critical. But that's the whole thing, Liz. And by the way, don't feel like you have to get John's course to start with video. Like, we don't want you to feel like that there's any barrier to entry with you getting started, because YouTube is so powerful. You can take advantage of it. Anybody can do it. Absolutely anybody can do it. Even if you don't want to appear on camera, as we pointed out, you can use Camtasia. You get a 30-day free trial on techsmith.com of Camtasia. That'll allow you to record your screen and record your voice. You can do it that way. You can even hire people on gigs on Fiverr to deliver your sales message for you, so long as you can write up the message for them, and you can have somebody make a video for you for $5 if it's just the end of the world for you to make your own video. And it can be like, you might have something where you're from overseas and you have a really thick accent and you really feel like it's going to get in the way of conversion. Okay, at that point we can understand. But regardless, no matter what, just really taking action with this. This is one of those times when, because of that barrier to entry, because you have to make that video, Liz, it's going to keep this market wide open for the foreseeable future.
Right. And going into that, like, you have an accent or a thick accent. I've seen a lot of people with really thick accents do one of two things. Number one, they still just make the video, and a lot of them are like tutorial videos. I'm not sure if you've ever noticed that. Like, if you're looking for a Photoshop tutorial, it'll be a guy with a really heavy accent, but there's no other choice. So, like, I personally just still listen to him, and he'll have a ridiculous amount of subscribers and views. Like I said, people are usually very forgiving, and they kind of aren't there to criticize you. Or secondly, you see these guys with really thick accents do a video where they just show what they're doing with their mouse, and then they type along with the text. And again, sometimes I really need to see that video because it's something that I need to figure out how to do, and I still watch it. So that just goes to kind of show you that people are really forgiving on YouTube. They're not there to criticize, really. They're there to learn something a lot of the times, and that's how you kind of reel them in and sell them something. So they want information is the main thing.
Yeah, and the one thing I will say is the one thing you do need to do is make sure that the audio quality is reasonable. So if you have wind sounds in the background or something like that, where it's breaking up or crunching, where it's painful for somebody to hear, that's going to be a full problem, and that's the one thing that you need to address, because clarity is very important when it comes to any marketing message. Just having a plain spoken understanding for people what's really going on. Here's the scoop. Here's what you need to know about the situation. As long as you're doing at least that, you're in the game. As long as your audio is clear and understandable, that is probably the most important thing. Liz, I want to do. We decided to keep this to an hour today because we've got a little bit of a doubleheader. We're going today, and then tomorrow, right in around 24 hours. We've got an Amazon Q&A, and we're going to actually get a little bit into Shopify. You actually created a new Shopify store this last year and just quickly ran it up to $1,000 or even $1,500 a day. How are you able to do that?
Again, I use YouTube ads. So it's obviously my favorite form of traffic right now. It's very cheap. And I pretty much just did some of the things that I'm going to teach at OMG Live and ran up to a Shopify site. And the reason that I had to kind of stop selling on the Shopify is I was having supplier issues, which I still am. So I haven't actually been able to turn that back on. In fact, I just recently started to run promotions on Amazon because I have enough in stock now to actually sell that product. But again, I'm still having issues with the supplier, and hopefully in 2016 I get those resolved. But I'm almost certain I'm going to sell out for Christmas on that, so I cannot have a Shopify store open at the current time because of that.
It's so funny. Yeah, a victim of your own success must be difficult. I know that you actually just got a huge bump in your rankings on Amazon with that product. So congratulations on that. Well, that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll place a link below the video for you to be able to sign up for that webinar shortly for our 4 p.m. webinar. And like we said, John Permathy's course is closing out. His coaching is closing out for 2016 or for 2015, just at midnight tonight in about 10 hours from now, from what I'm seeing. So there's still a chance to get in. John's created that real generous payment plan. Anytime after midnight Pacific tonight, it can close the doors for 2015. Check the link. If the order link's still working, the deal is on, and you're going to be able to get that coaching from John. I endorse it. Obviously, you heard Liz endorse it today. Joe Marfolio has endorsed it as well. We think it's just terrific. And John is just such an exceptional and caring individual. He's a day one OMGer, and somebody who's helped wonderfully build OMG, both from the outside and from the inside. And that's just been an incredible thing. So we want you to come on in and join us for Tube Traffic Mastery with John. There's a link right below this video. I'm also going to try to take this video that I made up and get it up on YouTube. I don't know if I'll have the time to Wirecast it or not, but we'll get it up as an example for you in the next day or so. I'll try to get that done tonight. I've got a few tasks I need to take care of, a couple of things that Liz asked me to hunt down for her that I'll be working on with a couple meetings today. So we'll see how that all goes, but I'll try to get it all together. And that's it for today. Liz, thanks so much. I'm really excited today. Let me give you the final word on Obliteration for OMG Live, for Tube Traffic Mastery, and of course, looking forward to OMG 2016.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to be at OMG Live. Like I said, I've got a lot of surprises and just showing people how I made money with YouTube. So I'm pretty sure if you pay attention to my presentation, not only is it going to give you the confidence to create a video, because you're going to see some of the sloppy crap that I put out there that's actually made money. I think that's going to be really reassuring to everybody. And they're going to realize, wow, if she did that and made some money off of it, then there's no telling what I can do. And I'm also going to show them the exact funnels that I use to actually generate that income. So I think that's going to be really exciting. And a lot of people are going to learn a lot and hopefully take actionable content home and make some money.
You know, Liz, your funnel building is one of the things that a lot of people don't realize about you. It's one of the things that people have benefited so much in 2015. And I think that's something that you're going to help them understand more in 2016, more on YouTube pay-per-click at OMG Live and in Project Assimilation for 2016. More on e-commerce, Shopify. I mean, this is, we've already got so much incredible stuff from you with what you've already put in place for Amazon. But then even on top of that, you're going to go in and even augment and increase and coach more on Amazon. So that's just incredible. I know the OMGers are so thrilled for all the people that you've brought in and all the wonderful energy. And on behalf of so many OMGers that have so much success, I want to thank you. I saw that Andrew, I guess he posted Danker Sage, just hit #1 bestseller for one of his products. So he's really excited about it, and we see all the success pouring in from OMGers. Looking forward to an incredible Q4 for 2015 and to power into 2016. Liz, we're real excited. Maybe you'll even show everybody how to put on their own ninja suits.
Yeah, definitely. I'll make sure I take a couple spare ones.
All right, that sounds great. All right, everybody, I want to thank you again. Tube Traffic Master is going to close out at midnight, anytime after midnight Pacific tonight. There's a link below to get in on that. I'll also include a link to our Webby tomorrow, where we're going to be focused on Amazon Q&A with a special focus on Shopify and e-commerce. And then we're also I'll try to get together that video example for you. Hopefully that'll be empowering and loosen you up and feel like you can get out there and do it yourself. Okay, everybody, thanks so much. God bless, and we will see you tomorrow.